Hi guys, welcome to a new video. This is actually part two of a video I did just before this, working on a bunch of my ficus cuttings. Um, so if you hadn't had a chance to take a look at that video, I'd maybe go look at that first. But they can be viewed independently too. There's really no carryover. It just took longer to work on some of the cuttings than I thought. So instead of making a really long video, I figured I'd break it up into two. So this is the second part. So this is one that I had in the first part. These other ones are other cuttings that I just added to the mix. But in the first part, I had multiple cuttings in the same container, and I want to break those up before the roots get too intertwined together to where them broke apart. So set some of these aside for now. So the first one we'll look at is this one here. Looks like it's got three separate cuttings in it. And I always just like to get them broke apart. I don't like to put multiple cuttings in the same container, but just due to lack of space and the number of containers I had during the summer, that's just what I ended up with. So first, squeeze the sides of the container to break up loosen up the soil, and then hopefully these will just kind of slide out. Here we go. And just kind of gently break up the soil without damaging the roots. These are coming apart pretty good. Just unlike the other ones that I worked on, they were really tangled, but these aren't too bad. Still a little tangled, but not near as bad as those other ones. So yeah, they're coming apart pretty easy. So there they are. Shake off some of the soil. Set a couple of these aside. I don't think I'll have to do a lot of root work. My goal is just to get them potted up in a bigger pot to let them continue growing. Just go ahead and knock some of this soil off of these other two. And then I'll get rid of this little lid here. Okay. We'll set that aside. And then for this one, since it's so small, I'll just use this smaller container. And I'll just use my standard bonsai mix, which is akadama and black lava. Just kind of get the roots spread out a little bit. Not real concerned with them at this point. When I repot it again, I'll probably do a little more work on the roots. But at this stage, they're still pretty young. I'll just kind of tamp it down a little bit. Maybe use the chopstick just to make sure there's no air pockets down around the roots. Put a little bit more soil in it. one's all done. So I'll set that over here. Then take a look at potting these other ones up. I'll use these little bit bigger containers for these. Just filling it up to about halfway, a little bit more maybe. Spread out some of the roots. Again, not too concerned with a lot of root work at this stage. They have a lot of growing to do before I really start shaping them into anything. There's that one. Set that aside. And then the last one here. Again, about halfway on the soil. Spread the roots out, just kind of so they're in a radial pattern. There's that one. So, and I'll get all of these watered in here in a bit. I might not be on camera, but just so you know that I do water them in because the roots will dry out really fast. Actually, since I'm going to go ahead and do some other work, I may go ahead and grab a water bottle. Get some of these watered in here. So for some of the small ones, I'll just use some of these squeeze bottles. That way I can get the water in, especially when they're really tight on my plant shelves. And the water's coming out the bottom, so that's good. Get this one watered in. There we go. And then get this last one. There we go. I can see it coming out of the bottom, so it should be good. Grab a little paper towel here just to get rid of some of this water. I don't normally water on my table like this, but just wanted to get them watered in. So next up we've got this guy. This has been growing for a little bit longer than the other ones. As you can tell, the trunk's thicker. I've got a little wire on there that's adding a little movement. But the first thing I need to do is I've got some of this wire eaten into the trunk, so I need to remove that first. So we'll go ahead and do that. Okay, so first I think I'll see how much I can unwrap. Yeah, these small ficuses, when the growing conditions are right, you've got to really keep an eye on when you put wire on them, because it doesn't take long for the wire to start biting in. Got wire overlapped a little bit down here, so I'll just cut that one loose. So I can go ahead and get this one undone, and you can see there it's really dug in. It's going to be hard to get out. Just kind of start picking at it, cutting it a little bit. There we go. It came off. Then I've got smaller wire going up these branches. That's also biting in. See if I can unwrap this one too. So that's gone. Got one more little piece over on this branch. I left these on way too long. Yeah, that's a pretty good bite in there, but it's young enough, and I think it'll grow out and recover. But it's got some decent movement in it. Not sure what this tree will end up with in the future, but I'm not going to repot this one since there's only one tree in the pot. I just wanted to get the wire off of that. So there's that one. Set that over here. And this one here is another cutting. It's also got some wire on it that's starting to bite into. So we'll get this removed. The leaf fell off. It's all right. There's another one. Yeah, if you do some wiring on these in the summertime, it is easier to defoliate some of it, or if not all of the tree. But you only want to do that when the tree's really vigorous and actively growing. It's winter time now where I'm at, so these are growing inside. Not ideal times for major work like that, because they're not growing as vigorous as they do during the summer. It's really okay. Got that out of there. Yeah, you can see there down here we've got pretty deep grooves again, but they'll grow out. Like I've said before, it just adds a little bit of character to the tree. I don't get too concerned with it. I don't foresee these being show trees. So the scar just makes it unique. Just continuing to unwind this. Get that off of there. And let's see, do we have any more? Yeah, there's another piece up here. So we'll just unwind this one. And I think that'll do it for this tree. It looks like it's definitely holding the shape. Like I mentioned before, I do put wire on some of my younger cuttings just to add a little movement without really any final design, final design in mind. Just to add a little movement to the trunk and some of the branches. Not really sure what I'll be using in the future or what, but it's got some nice movement, and it'll continue to develop and turn into a nice little tree someday. So the last one up is another cutting. Looks like we've got some roots coming out of the pot here. Just inspecting it to see if we need to do any work to it. It doesn't really look like it. This one's not, this may be a candidate to let it grow and thicken up and then chop it back and kind of start over with the new tree, but because it's really not, doesn't have any interesting form to it. It's just a straight stick and then these other branches coming off. So this just may end up getting potted up, let it grow out. And I did this with one of my other larger ficuses. I just let it grow in a big pot, and if I saw an interesting branch, I would take a cutting off of it and start a new tree that way, and just kind of let it be kind of the mother plant for other trees. But so I don't think this one needs any work done. I'll probably up pot it later this year, or just wait till spring, when it's really growing a lot faster. Put it in a pot probably at least twice this big, just to let it continue to grow. So no work needed on that one today. And I think that just about does it for the work on the second part of working on my ficus cutting. So with that, I think we'll end the video, and I thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.